Pranam Gurudev. Mistress Isha Sharma from Canada has sent you some questions. She says, with all the problems and anxieties in our own lives and in the lives of others, what we should do to remain positive, what we should do to maintain our joy and inner balance, and for that matter, peace and meditation.
It's an important question.
Right.
First of all, what is a problem? When a situation or any person or any element is not favorable to an individual, it seems to be a problem. Then the problem arises, first of all. And the problems are there in human life, almost in all life, actually speaking, because life is a problem. Life itself is a problem, and you are given to solve it. You are given to solve it by dint of your intelligence, education and knowledge. So we cannot run away from problems. The more we run away from problems, the problems chase us. And the problems, as I can understand, are of two kinds. One inflicted by nature, which is natural, like heat, cold, rain, storm, and physical afflictions from that. And the other problems are self-created, so they are different. You have your own kind of problem, I have my own, others have their own. So that arises from your lifestyle and your angle of looking up in the world, and at the same time your concern. When you have deep concern to mundane things, worldly things, and you get attached, having been involved in that all day and night, then numerous problems arise, because human being is born from eternal consciousness, and every human being is like a river, is flowing towards perfection, the ocean of consciousness. And people, forgetting this goal, when they're involved with the world, that is not corresponding to their nature. Therefore, they're troubled. So, the more we run from problems, the problems increase. The more we are indifferent. We are indifferent towards the petty worldly things around us, and indifferent to the problems that might have cropped up. Problems reduces. So this is the thing. Spirituality, the role of spirituality and meditation and yoga is here. Here. Solution is in spirituality. Spirituality is not just sitting upright and little doing pranayam and meditation. Spirituality is your outlook, to develop outlook. Patanjali says very nicely that vitarka badhane pratipaksha bhavanam. If anything is giving you trouble, you just take the opposite idea, make your ideas upside down. Like if somebody is trying to take away something from you, then and you are troubled, and then you should think that, well, if he takes this away, what is wrong in it? Everything has to be given up. Everything has to be given up. So that way, when you cultivate opposite ideas, sometimes you find that you rid of mental problem. Most problems are from the mind. Wrong outlook, attachment. What is not actually yours, you say, this is mine. And the moment you say mine, you are guilty in that way, and because of that guilt, you get tension, and tension is the problem. So spirituality means mainly yoga. Yoga is mostly an internal process to transform yourself, to widen your view, to widen your mind and your consciousness, enlarge your consciousness. So that brings a different kind of joy, bliss. Every day, if you practice it steadfastly and on condition, you develop this faculty in you, Kundalini and joy and happiness, and that is surely a very powerful means to ward off the mental problems, attachment to the world, unnecessary attachment, unnecessary clinging to things, to people, and mine.
You're talking like Kundalini has to be roused around.
Kundalini means the joy, the happiness. It's not just pleasure, sensual pleasure. It's something beyond senses. It comes from reflection, it comes from concentration of mind. So when your mind is concentrated and devoted to your duty, rightful duty and right thinking, then automatically problems are less. This needs a lot of training, lot of working. Because the mind is the only thing. It's like in the middle, and you have one side the world, the other side the spirit. If you give much of your mind to the mundane things, worldly things, it becomes hazy, muddled, confused, and you feel that you have a lot of problems, but basically you may not have. The moment you give your mind to spirituality, in the space, in the vast space of spirituality, there is no problem, there is no conflict, there is no contradiction and competition. But in the world, there is always conflict. The ego is always centered to world, and your ego is all the time torture you. That is why it is said in the Bible that thou canst not serve God and mammon. Either you serve mammon or you serve God. Mammon means ego, your selfishness, your worldly desires, strong worldly desires, necessary desires, needs are not your problem. But when you exit, go beyond and seek to have more and more, then you have to face problems. And these problems are not to be solved easily. You need to give up. So most of the time, what we do, we get attached, we get connected, but we cannot disconnect ourselves. We cannot withdraw ourselves because we don't have that mental power, and we don't have that inner joy, inner bliss and happiness that detaches you from the world and leads you to some higher spiritual experience. So a spiritual experience, the widening of mind, widening of view and widening of consciousness is most important. That is a matter of cultivation, thorough cultivation, sammak vyama, like Buddha says, thorough cultivation, sammak vyama, everyday's practice, and 24 hours make a day. And if you are busy 24 hours all with the mundane affairs, naturally you will be problem stricken. Nobody can solve it. No doctor can solve it, no teacher can solve it, nobody can. It's only you who have to solve it, and for that you need to train up, that you have a physical existence, you have a mental existence, you have cultural existence, you have spiritual existence. So you have to nourish your mind with right ideas, powerful ideas, proper ideas, and nourish your soul with meditation, yoga, pranayama. There are hundreds of yoga kriyas, and particularly concentration, meditation, and absorption in the supreme, pure, pristine consciousness. And then you can get rid of. So every day, devote some time, an hour or two, thoroughly practicing spirituality, and lead a virtuous way of life. Lead a benevolent way of life. Try to help others. Try to wish for others. Wish the best things for others. that you will see your mind can easily avoid petty problems of life. The life is not meant all for problems, to be saddled with problems for nothing. Life is meant for enjoyment. Life is meant for enlightening yourself, to have the knowledge of superconsciousness, divine consciousness, divinity.
But the thing is, like those who have not practiced meditation from before, like that of in your case, you have practiced meditation since you were a child, and later part of your life you have given most of your time to spiritual aspect of life, and whatever you do has become spiritual because you have that background of real Kundalini experience or opening of supramental level. So those who don't have that kind of opening or taste of internal peace, and the mind, when it gets perturbed in the mundane affair, it's not that easy to bring it into balance. So from that viewpoint she is talking.
If you burn your hand in fire, it's not the fault of the fire.
Right.
It's fault of your ignorance. So whatever you might say, that people get involved and how to get out of it, and they need to take training. They need to take training. They need to realize whatever may be the phase of life, no problem, but they need to realize that we should start from now, never too late. From now, you start from the alphabet, start from the beginning, and you'll never be a loser. In the Gita it is very nicely said that Nehavikramanasosti prattabhayana vidyati. It has no contrary result, and it has no loss of effort. So even if you practice a little every day, it will make you free from fear, great fear. It will make you free from problems. To a great extent, I should say, like the problems inflicted by nature is still there. You get sometimes cold, sometimes fever, sometimes this, sometimes that, and also a lot of physical problems depend on your lifestyle, your food habit, and sometimes lazy habit. Necessary exercise you don't take, so physical ailments arise. And the food also, you have no discrimination in food. Whatever you like, you eat, so problems come. That's a different thing. But the severe problem is of the mind. That is spirituality, spiritual problem.
Right.
So to solve that, you have to come to the formula, the system. What is said by the great masters, you should read their life and you should study their gospels and try to follow them. If you follow even a little bit, that will be beneficial to you. You have to start from the beginning, and you have to have the inspiration. I believe in 3I. First I is interest. You have to have interest to ward off your problems and to attain eternal peace. And secondly, inspiration. Only interest will not do. You should be inspired. You should be enthused. And thirdly, industriousness. You should be industrious, hard laboring, hard working. If you work hard, even Patanjali says, if you work hard, it comes quickly. Your stamina comes quickly. Your willpower develops. Actually speaking, without willpower in this world is a very difficult world. You have to cultivate your willpower all the time to fight against natural problems, to fight against any ailments that come. You have to fight willpower, and that willpower will help you to move in the right track. So I think it's all culture and cultivation. Every day is culture, every day is cultivation. But a lot of people give most of the time in survival, in food, physical survival, physical needs. Give less time to mental, spiritual, cultural development. I think that has to be trained. The government should take interest, education should take interest, and public should learn how to get rid of petty problems, petty involvements, which one has to give up one day, but even now they don't realize that, so they cling on to it, cling on to the world, cling on to the world. Well, world is there. You cannot have the whole world. Even if you have the whole world, you cannot be happy. Even if you have the whole world, you cannot be happy. And I also believe that some unseen problems that might come to a person can be averted by faith, by prayer, by meditation, by believing that there is a superpower working behind you and you can move him. You can move that power, you can appeal that power, implore that power, so that it gives you protection. Protection is not just mundane, protection is also spiritual. We have realized in our life many times how a divine power, divine secret hands help you in your difficult time, in your danger. So I think these are the things that one needs to cultivate. The faith in himself and confidence, faith in himself, faith in God, faith in truth, faith in the right way of life, righteous way of life. Righteous way of life.
Right. It's a great answer. Thank you.